Kodak shares soared earlier this week on news that it would be taking a chance on the cryptocurrency world with plans to launch KODAKCoin. And our next guest recently signed a deal to market Kodak's cryptocurrency. Darren Marble is the CEO of CrowdfundX, a financial marketing firm which uses a combination of artificial intelligence and digital marketing. And he joins us from New York with a little bit more on this story, which caught the world's attention, Darren. We saw that in the Kodak stock performance. Maybe you can talk to us a little bit more about what your business is about, using AI for marketing?
Yeah, so CrowdfundX is a financial marketing firm. We're based in Southern California, and what we do is we use a combination of artificial intelligence and digital marketing to help our clients, who tend to be companies that raise capital online, more easily identify and acquire investors in their deals.
So let's use this KODAKCoin example. Maybe elaborate on the deal that you signed with Kodak to market the launch of KODAKCoin.
So Kodak is really fascinating. It's a 130-year-old brand founded by George Eastman in the late 19th century, and they're developing a really cool platform. It's called Kodak One. It's an image rights management platform, and what it does, it allows photographers and agencies to register their work, sell rights to images, and then receive payment in the form of a new cryptocurrency, KODAKCoin. And so CrowdfundX, as a marketing firm, has been engaged to help market the initial coin offering, otherwise known as an ICO. And this is being done as what's called a Reg D 506C. Very technical, but in layman's terms, that means that only accredited investors from the US, Canada, the UK, and select countries can invest in the deal. So our job is to effectively market this brand, market this ICO, and help these guys raise a lot of money.
And the stock of Kodak surged roughly 170%, maybe more, over 2 days as people talked about this story and the announcement out of the Consumer Electronics Show. But as you know, because of all the hype around anything with the word blockchain or cryptocurrency these days, there's a lot of skepticism out there as well. How does that impact the way by which you would be marketing something like this?
Great question. So in full disclosure, because we are not an unbiased third party, I need to quickly disclose that we're being compensated $75,000 in cash and 75,000 Kodak coins. But look, here's the reality. A lot of companies that have conducted ICOs in the last year, year and a half, these are startups. It's two guys in a bedroom deciding to create a business and next day launch an ICO. The white papers are largely based on ideas. These guys are raising money for things that haven't yet been built, maybe without a track record. The difference with Kodak is this is an established business. This is not a no-name, pre-revenue, pre-product company. It's a company that has survived for 130 years. And that's what makes it really interesting for us, because this is a legitimate brand that has real assets, infrastructure, employees, and a lot of smart people working to solve a real problem. From the days of George Eastman, photographers have had their work ripped off and copied, and as you can imagine, that's been exacerbated in the online era. So they're taking a really innovative approach to apply blockchain technology to solve that problem and help rights owners effectively track their work and get adequately compensated for it.
So this is one example of what you're doing. Another involves a high-profile name from the world of music, Drake. You guys have signed with Drake's Virginia Black whiskey to market their upcoming, what's called, I guess, a Reg A+ campaign. Basically, the headlines on this story was that this business is going public, sort of. Maybe sort of explain what's going on here.
So slightly different deal, but also involving the crowd and digital marketing. Virginia Black is a whiskey company that was co-founded by Drake, who's a Grammy-winning artist, global celebrity, and Brent Hawking, who is the founder of De Leon Tequila, which he sold to Diddy. And these guys have already launched. It's an existing business. In fact, since September 2016, when they launched, through today, they've already sold 60,000 cases. So incredibly real company. And they're using Regulation A+, which is a securities exemption that is part of the Jobs Act passed by President Obama in 2012. And this allows a private company like Virginia Black to conduct an initial public offering, or IPO, where anybody over 18 globally can legally invest in the deal. And this is slightly different than the Kodak deal, where only wealthy investors, accredited individuals, can invest. Anyone over 18 globally can invest in the Virginia Black deal. We've been engaged. I also have to disclose because, again, we are biased. We're being compensated $305,000 cash to help these guys create the story, market the deal, and have a successful IPO.
You know, it's an interesting world. Technology allows for a lot of different ways by which people go out and raise money. There are still some people who say, everything seems a little bit foreign to me. I prefer a traditional publicly listed stock or participating in something like an IPO. But just to provide a little bit of context, I mean, how big of a trend is crowdfunding when it comes to emerging companies and what they want to do to raise financing?
So in 2017, more than $600 million in capital was raised through Regulation A+. 8 companies achieved Regulation A+ IPOs and listed their shares to national exchanges, including NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. And what's really incredible about that is the investors in those deals are investing at the IPO price. They're not coming in after the company goes public and the stock jumps 20%, you know, they're kind of the last money in. No, these are retail investors around the world able to participate alongside institutions, accredited wealthy investors, and get the same deal as them and see these companies go public. So given the Drake deal, given the growth, $600 million in 2017, this is going to be an incredible year for this industry as more and more companies recognize that they have a built-in advantage, paying customers that they can tap to help them fund their deals. I think it's just going to take off.
Darren, thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Darren Marble is the CEO of CrowdfundX, joining us from the NASDAQ in New York.